Hi, this is Steve at Hilltops IT, and in this video we're going to look at QuoteWerks Web Scripting. We've had our first QuoteWerks Web API Scripting challenge in, something that we've been promoting on social media this last week or so, and we've had a request. What the customer would like to do is roll up the quantities of like manufacturer part numbers when a document is converted. So I've come up with this prompt for the AI assistant to sum the quantities up into the first instance of the part number and delete any additional line items with the same part number. So let's generate that. Let's see what the AI assistant comes up with. The customer had tried this for themselves. Unfortunately, they hadn't got very far. But they presented it to us as a challenge to see if we could get it working. So we've got a script now. Firstly, checking that document open, getting the line item count, this part number map. This is going to be used to manage the products that we're going to update or delete. And as you can see, it's generated what looks like pretty comprehensive script. Firstly, grabbing all the quantities, and then next updating those quantities and deleting the ones that we no longer want. So let's save that. Let's go to our workspace and give it a try. So I'm just going to open up a quote that I was working with before. Imaginatively called my part numbers 1, 2 and 3, and we've just got quantity 1s against each of them, 4 part 1s, 2 part 2s and 2 part 3s as well. So let's see what happens when we go to convert that to an order. I've done this several times. It's just prompting me if I want to do it yet again. Yes to that and OK that. And we're getting this odd prompt about quantity total is automatically calculated. I'll explain why we're getting that shortly, but quantity total is made up of the quantity base with these 4 multipliers. That's what that message is telling us. This is as far as the customer got, and unfortunately couldn't work out what the problem was, so they passed it to us, which is exactly what the scripting challenge is all about. Now, seen along the way, we're getting lots of those prompts and we're randomly seeing line numbers disappear, and that just isn't the result that we were looking for. So let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that as well. Let's go back to our script and let's have a look, see what's going on. Now, the reason for it is, although we're getting the quantity totals out of that quantity total column, which is absolutely the correct thing to do, it's also trying to write back to that quantity total column, and actually that's a kind of read-only field for QuoteWerks because of the calculation on this quantity base and the multiplier fields. So we've got 4 of those. I'm not going to update it to the total quantity. I'm just going to put those as 1 so that we do get accurate results at the end of it. 2, 3 and 4 as well. Okay, so that should get rid of that message. Now let's see what sort of result we get. Okay, we're on the after convert document, so let's open up the quote that we started with again and let's give that another try. Okay, so we saw that flip to 4. That's good. That's a good start. Seeing some lines disappear. That 2's gone correctly. That's okay. But yeah, not quite sure what happened with this part 1, why that's left there, and we seem to have lost part 3. Now, without getting into too much detail on it, the reason for that is these indexes that are being saved out. So initially it saves out the index of the current line, this I value, which is great. You know, you need that as a reference, but then it loops through each of the entries and it's deleting lines from there. So where the index of part 3 started at about line, was it 6 or 7, I think, line 6 and 7 have disappeared by the time it gets to it. So yeah, there's just problems with that need to be resolved manually. I have, however, got another script that I created, and this corrects a lot of the issues that, well, all of the issues that we saw with that report. It saves out the lines to remove separately and does that as the very last thing rather than trying to iterate through the deletion as it goes. So if I save that, go back to our workspace and get rid of that order. No, I don't. Let's open up that quote again. I've added a couple of other nice little bits to this script as well. So if we go to File and Convert to Order, yes I am, and OK that. So what this is doing, it's also going to ask me, maybe there's a scenario where I don't want to roll up the quantities, so I do have the option to click no at this point and the script won't run. I do want to run it, so let's hit yes. You can see those line quantities changing, and what's going to happen with the remove, that is because I didn't put in, no, it's this for each. I was having problems with that before and I have now corrected it. Let's find the code. Okay, let's, yeah, this for each, because the code is running quicker than the actual processing. We need to use that await so that the line executes before it runs the next piece of code. But with this for each call, the await isn't kind of compatible, if you like. At least I haven't found a way. Let's save that. Let's go back to our workspace and ditch the order again. Open up our quote again. And let's give that another go. Convert to order. Yes, okay. Again, asking me if I want to roll up. Yes, I do. And we'll see those numbers. And fingers crossed this time we'll be left with a part 3 with a quantity of 2. Which we are. We've got a nice little toast down here to say that it's been executed successfully as well. So we've ticked the box, but that wasn't far enough for me. If you've watched any of my videos, if you've been watching me on social media, I very much want to push the API and kind of see how far we can take it. So what I added into this script was, this is also going to check for like costs and selling prices. So let's change a couple of random ones here. One, let's make that 1 as well. So feasibly you could have parts with the same part number but different costs and or selling prices on them. So what I wanted to do was, if that's the case, then not roll those quantities up. There might be a reason for those different prices. It might be a complete mistake as well, but in order to make sure that the resulting order in terms of the total cost, total selling, matches the original quote that it came from, I wanted to prevent that from happening, and that's what I've done in this script. If we grab that and paste that in there, you can see there's some logic going on to get the unit cost and the unit price to check whether they match, and at the very end, if there were any that didn't match, then prompt the user about those particular part numbers. Okay, so let's save that. Let's go back to our workspace, and we've got our original quote, so let's convert that yet again. Yes. Yes, I do. See it whirring away on the top right there. Okay, and there we are. Full manufacturer part numbers could not be rolled due to differing unit cost or unit prices, and it's listing out part 1 and part 3, which are indeed the ones that I changed. But for the other parts, this part 2 where it could, part 1 where it could roll it up, part 2 where it could roll it up, it has done it in part. That was a lot longer video than I anticipated it being, but I hope you found it useful. If you've got a QuoteWerks scripting challenge that you'd like to present to us, by all means do. If you'd like a copy of this script, by all means get in touch. You'll find contact details in the description below. Thank you for watching, and happy QuoteWerks API scripting.